do my thing. I serve the Eibishter. It worked. It didn't work. You got to get used to that mentality, or else you're lonely. Everything got to work. They have to like it. They have to, has to. If you don't have that mentality, so that where we up? Oh, you take a look upstairs. Yeah. Eibishter will help. Anyway, this place where I speak, there's a special phone that they installed it there for me. So I'm developed. It's my thing. Now lately I saw it off, and just in time for my speech, it was back on. I don't know who took it. This time it was off and off. They didn't hear me. Whichever people put it in a special to hear, and I understand it's going for a big rabbim, and it's off. It wasn't there, and I didn't have it. How do you deal with that one? Oh, chutzpah! What gneva! How dare whoever did it? Oh, I'm okay? You leave it. The Eibishter it gives me the best people here. The Eibishter. So look, a chutzpah. How could a person have the audacity to take my thing? It's a chutzpah. The guy doesn't have a chinuch. The guy never learned Musa. It's bad news. This is what Lakewood's coming to. No wonder there's so much sorrows in the world. Now, don't believe a word I'm saying. I don't mean anything I'm saying. This is the exact opposite of Nusach Novhardok or Nusach Chavas Avavas. Chavas Avavas says, you choshed me. Now, what do you want from this guy? Maybe the guy, he's sick. Wait till you find out that you roll off the wall and the guy had to take it. Whatever it is. Maybe it's your own friend that took it and you don't know anything. Avidan is called other makavskos. Maybe it fell off. Who knows what. But this is what they tell you to do. When somebody does something nasty, it could be your wife, by the way. You don't need this guy that takes your phone. It could be your wife, it could be your shviga, your son, your daughter. Everyone's getting angry. The boss. I'm okay? So it could be, they're cheppering me. He says, be choshed yourself, says the Heilige Chavas Avavas. Be choshed yourself, leave them alone. Be done them all the kavschus. You want to have a happy life? Blame yourself. You want to be a happy person? Blame yourself. Don't turn yourself into a bum. But it's you. It's you. There's Weinkrantz, that's how he used to tell me, Geseda. There's only, in your life, the biggest yesod of your entire life is, there's no one here except you and the Eibishter. Everyone else is a test, is a this, they don't even count. One Eibishter is all he's watching. It's you and him. And here the Chavas Avavas spells it out. And do tshuva, be done l'kavschus, says the Chavas Avavas. And give them a tov b'makom akpada. Be dafka nice to them. Go out of your way to do chesed with the guy that whatever he did. Because it's not him. Hashem Amalekal. But David, I can't even say it. But David HaMelech Bashem, it wasn't simple. It was like, it didn't work. He failed. They say you shouldn't have asked for an assign. He asked for an assign. Here we go. So Bathsheba. And so that was like, but right afterwards, David passed the test that made up for, it's not Shaykh what a test he passed. When somebody yelled at him and screamed at him and threw rocks at him, he said, Hashem Amalekal. Oh, now you made it. He was an ambitious person, David HaMelech. He wanted to make it big. That's why he fell into the Bathsheba Maisa, which we know isn't really the way we think it is. But still, it wasn't. And so David HaMelech passed this test. This is the number one test in the universe. When he passed that test, that was the greatest thing he ever did in his life. He did not get angry at the person. He said, it's Hashem. It's not him. You want to be a David? Or that's why David's so happy. Why is he singing so much? He went through so much sorrow, especially from people. Everyone hates him. He was not popular, David HaMelech. I'm sorry. All those people that feel they're not popular, open Shmuel Aleph, Shmuel Beis, there he is. David Malki Mashiach, the least popular person when he was Nifta. It says, that all his enemies, guess who his enemies were? All the Gedolei Yisrael. You like that? All the Rosh Sanhedrin, Shimei Ger was not Rosh Sanhedrin. The Urim B'Tumim, walking Urim B'Tumim. These were his arch enemies. And Shaul HaMelech threw a spear at him 3 times to kill him, and his own family tried to kick him out of his house. They wanted him dead because they thought he was a mamza. They were hoping a lion or a bear would kill him. How would you like that, said you? Get the psychiatrist ready. They'll never be finished. Oh, this is big bucks. Let's stay with him a long time. We're going to, this is an issue. This is the real thing. Here we got issues. I want to tell you, I just did this twice. I think I mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. Someone just told me, I heard that. I meet people in the street. I have a bot. Oh, I just heard that on Torah. And I just heard it from Mendel. Oh, that's me. Oh yeah. So he just heard me. I can't tell jokes anymore. Wherever I go, I tell a joke. I heard that so many times on Torah, on Kava Shkacha Pratis. I know your jokes. They all know me. When they meet me, I once came to a chassan, a famous chassan. They all come over to me, and they all come over. They say, "We're drinking because we want to see 2 of you." Hey, that's where'd you pick that one up? They know me like a book. I can't be machadish anymore. Anyway, what was I talking about? The who? Who? So here goes. Now I had 2 shalom bias problems. Serious business, not stomach. Very bad. Both of them, like, the family is crying. What do we do? And I say like this, I'm not getting involved. I'm going to get all tangled up into the details. Kim Taran, Rabbi Isai. Kim Taran, there's room. Vos meh chasidim vos besser. I'm hungry for more chasidim. Come inside. Listen, at the very least, you get a mitzvah. Be mahana and elter yid. The elter yid is starving for more covet. I'm an interesting. This they never saw. I run after covet 24/7, and I get it. I'm like, I don't know. It's against Chazal, and it's a tzarich. I run after covet, and it comes my way. Oh, and every time I go to sleep, my mind is full. I got covered here. I got covered there. Oh, I'm doing great. I'm not that bad, but I can't say I dislike. I'm not one of those for sure that says, please don't give me covered. That's for sure. That's not happening. Not in this Gilgal. That's not my approach. Give me covered? Thank you. I want to tell you the real truth, all kidding aside. When I get covered, I feel guilty that it doesn't sink in. And I don't go around saying, thank you, Abishter, for encouraging me. This is a real issue by me. Why aren't you saying more thank yous? Every compliment is from Hashem. Don't make it away, I heard that yesterday. What are you doing a cup? Say thank you. What's with you? Abishter is making you feel good. Be thankful. Anyway, let's get back to...
Why is everyone being barrached in a covet if that's the approach?
What? Yes, the truth is I'm a big tzaddik. Well, it says, I'm a first chazal. I'll tell you if they ask me. That's my chazal. I stick with that.
No, when someone gives you a covet and you can channel it and...
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Why are we saying to be barrached in a covet then?
The Chayv Salvova speaks about it. I think Rabbi Miller speaks about it. He says, you're not really supposed to run after, but when it comes your way, then you're supposed to be, you're allowed to enjoy it. You're allowed to be thankful. Abish says, bring mechazik you. It's chizik. What's wrong with chizik? You're getting chizik. In the Novandik, they gave a lot of cover to everybody. Just when they got it, they went up saying. I'm more of Rabbi Miller's. Rabbi Miller quotes a Gemara in Avodah Zarah that when a guy got covered from a yid, he went straight to his Avodah Zarah to say thank you for the cover that he got. So he said, if a goyim could do it, we could also. He says this in this. Take a look at Chavis Abavas. He speaks around these things. You know, parcel up covered so fast. You have first of all, Shaloi Lishma, Ba Lishma. La'olam Yilmait Adam Shaloi Lishma. La'olam, says Reb David Blacha. Oh, you want to start with Lishma? Oh, you want to be those frum guys? No, I want to be Lishma. then you're going to end up with Shalai Lishma. Reb Michal Bar Weissman told Rechner Hertzman that when he was a Bach, he was a big Eloi. And he learned Bas Mother Rabba back in Europe. And he didn't want people to see, so he went alone in the Beis Medrash. And he was learning alone, nobody there. So people started looking in. So he took the Venetian blinds. I don't want to be seen. I want to learn alone. And so the people started, it seems the window was open, I don't know, but they started peeking in they started getting to it. So he says, I can't win with them. Everyone's looking at me, learning like with such a smother. So he decided, I'm going downstairs. He goes downstairs to the boiler room and he tells over the story, and I fell asleep on guns and I lost everything. That was the way of saying, you're going to run away from COVID, you end up with nothing. They stuck up. Did they see me? Did they know? Did I say that I'm such a big tzaddik? They don't care about you anyway. All the people that give you COVID, don't get so to your head. And maybe it should get to your head, makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy. Simcha is the burning issue. Got to be b'simcha no matter what. Anyway, where are we holding? David HaMelech. What? Who? Listen to this one. Shalom Bayis. They don't know what to do. This guy's crazy. He's terrible. He's destroying his house. And he's yelling all day. And he's this and that. And they want me to deal with it. I say right away, I don't need any details. And I told this to the Eibishter. I says, Eibishter, I can't deal with these things. They're sticky. Sticky said, yeah, I'm going to be on the telephone for years. You know how these things work? Do you ever hear of Mayim Maluchim? You know, drink salty water. You want to quench your thirst with that? That's what you're doing with a lot of these cases. You're going nowhere. Until you get it straight, it's not the mice. Eibishter, I want to be simplifying. Make my brachas work. You can straighten them all out. What's the big spiel? Why complicate? Elkim asas adam yasha. Ve'im bikshu cheshbonus rabim. Let's be simple. I'm like the Tom of the Manashtana, not the Chacham. Chacham, they make fun of them all. There's a reason. Don't be such a Chacham. I'm the Tom. That's me. I hold that for me. That's the best thing in the world. By me. That's the biggest godless. Anyway. So what did I do? I says, Eibishter, help those people. I want a total turnaround. The next day, I get a phone call from a relative. Rabbi Mendel, it's unbelievable. The guy finally decided he's going to get therapy. It's like a nest. I says, I didn't ask for that. I want a total, I want friends. I don't want the whole business. I get a call 24 hours later. Rabbi Mendel, they're going on a honeymoon. I promise you. Now here comes another one. Take one, Rabbi said. He's very chashuv. Take one, give it to your Rebbetzin. You show that you have her in mind. That we don't leave the ladies out. The ladies are very important. You know why in Europe they went off the derech in Poland? Because they put teiches into the men. The men went around like Sheni Yidin, big tzaddikim, learning Yom V'Layla. And the ladies, no, who cares? They're just ladies. And what is, so the new generation, what did the Yiddish mama look like? She wasn't what it's supposed to be. Beis Yaakov saved a lot, but it was already like, and they were worse. They had more trouble from the girls, from the boys. The girls were tough ladies, and the Polish girls, Reb Chaim Halpern told me that we used to throw these red flags. They were communists, these Jewish communists, and they take Rabbi Say, and they, take a batch over there and a batch over here. And Rabbi Say, the people that are listening, came Chayenu, pre-Shavuos event, reigniting the pride. It's in your hands. Tuesday, May 11th, Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Keynote speaker of Moshe Scheineman. Interactive panel featuring Mrs. Chana Rachel Twersky, Rebbetzin Esti Halberstadt, Mrs. Ari Schechter. Where is this? 8:30 to 10, Rosh Chodesh Sivan, Yeshiva Archas Chaim. Okay, anyone else? It's a big mitzvah. Get your ladies in there. Ladies are very, very important. I once met the Gabbai. I ate by him once for Shabbos. He wanted to read me Yerushalayim Shidduch. I was an American, Anyway, I'm not so fast. But I spent Shabbos with the Gabbai of the Alter Shemer Emunim Rebbe. Reb Aaron wrote himself the Shemer Emunim, and I spent Shabbos by him. And he started telling me, their Hasidus, the ones that never the Maisa, maybe B'Kroi HaKadosh, their Hasidus was known, those days especially, they were able to fear all these things, Yerushalayim Yidden are trying so hard with the Minhagim, they were known to be on top. They had all the, whatever the way the tznius and they were very matzliach. That Hasidus was known to be very stark. And he told me, the Gabbai, he was a Gabbai, his name was Reb Don Shvatz, that tzaddik, a tidy, he wrote a sefer in Shluch HaKan. He said, you know why we succeed? We put all our kaiches in the ladies. The ladies, we want chashiva ladies. You got chashiva ladies, you got it all. Okay, let's get back to us. Now, what was I saying? I don't want to start up with the men either. Men are also, I'm joking. Don't believe anything. But what was I saying about Shalom Bayis? The next Shalom Bayis. Oh, this is our dream. This is not Shaykh. I mean, this happened to me about 20 years ago, before I was like so. And I was visiting Australia. And somebody came over to me, had a terrible Shalom Bayis problem. And he was shekelish. And he started showing me his wife texted him a whole bunch of messages. You know what the messages look like? You're a taita mishugana, you're insane, I never should have married you. He showed me. See, this is my daily, diet. This is what she serves for breakfast. And I want to talk to you, I can't look you in the face. And he saves it. What are you saving it for? What are you saving that for? It's Kodesh Kodashim. To remember, you're one of those Bali Musa. I got it. He's saving it. Here it is. For the lawyer. And he's saving it, and the chasana, what's going on there? 25 years ago this happened. When I was visiting Australia, someone came over to me with this Shalom Bayis problem. And he said, among other things, that he doesn't like his wife, and you can imagine, and she says she doesn't look so good, and she doesn't like, you don't like, no wonder what do you want from her? You hold that she's Miss America, she's not, you don't like, she's not Aini Shel Yofi, and you hold that she's, so no wonder she's getting you back. I mean, what do you want from the poor lady? But Kitza, I says, don't get me involved in the whole business. I'm going to daven and forget the whole business. Listen to this. And 24 hours later, the first time his wife texts us a beautiful letter, she sends him, Mamish, what got into you? And I never saw his wife. I never spoke to her. I didn't discuss him and his details. And he says, something got into me. And I started finally helping with the baby, things he never did. And then suddenly, she doesn't look so bad. I promise you, it's a true story. You go to the Beit Shalom, he'll give you anything. This guy had trouble with his wife. What was his trouble? Whenever he buys her something, he is a shtickle cheverman. He's a little stingy. When he buys her a gift, he has himself in mind. He likes her. He becomes very from his wife is from the lady, but he gets super from. He always buys Sfarim, the covered yamtiv. He buys his wife Sfarim, and that's what he buys, the covered yamtiv. Rav Forshaman once told me, buy her a cheap tichel. You don't have to buy her a Vespas every week, every year, every yamtiv to buy her a chasana. The regular thing. You have to buy the covered yamtiv. It's a mitzvah. The kids, what happened? So the guy comes over to me and he says, my wife doesn't like my gifts. And I said, no wonder. You buy a gift for yourself. And she chops. She's not stupid. But I'm not going to change this guy. He's got to have his, he buys for him that she could read also, in English, whatever it is. So, here's your gift. Buys his wife a gift. We even have air conditioning. With you read this Adairis. The Vardik is with air conditioners, you're okay. You know, I spent 2 years giving Vadim. We're schmaltzing like crazy. And I never said anything. I was watching the guy. It was just as packed. I was just amazed. How come they keep coming? It's roasting. But I remember that I'm a Malamanateva anyway. My whole thing is tefillah. When I give a lousy speech, sometimes the taka not so good. I don't know how often that, but whatever. I'm not. You know what I do afterwards? Say, Eibishter, they should like it. Make it be tops. Every single time I get most compliments from those lousy speeches, because I'm not. What actually happened, how good I was and not good, is the Eibishter. The Eibishter will make them like it. There's a certain singer, I'm not going to say his name, that's somebody who knows things about Jewish singers. He said the guy can't sing to save his life, and the whole world loves him. And they're after him like crazy. And he's not even like, he's shvach. He says, the malam and not tev. The Eibishter wants the eyes to like him. They're running here, you know, often these things happen. With Eibishter decide, you go to the Eibishter, it's going to work. Anyway, so let's get back. Where am I up to? Who? Shalom Bayis, yeah. So the guy, I told the guy, before you buy that book, that's safer for yourself. I mean, for your wife. Before you buy it safer, daven. Eibishter, make her like the book. I promise you. As soon as he did it, Olam Hafuch Re'isi. Oh, thank you so much. It never happened in his life. He bought he's always buying gifts. He's always buying himself gifts all his life. It never happened. Never until he came to Mandel, the expert in Shalom Bayis. What's the expert? Go to the Eibishter. I go, all my problems. They'll see them say, Kela Daina Kalamaisim answers all your problems. Go to the Rabbeinu Shalom. Go to him for everything. This guy's wife doesn't like flowers. Never. Until one day he says, he bought the flowers for her. Eibishter, make her like my flowers. I promise these are true stories. Comes home, oh, they're beautiful. What got into you? You never liked flowers before. Because this time I daven. I learned, you know what I do? When I buy nash for my talmidim, I buy chocolates. Eibishter, make them love my chocolates and make them learn double. It's all tefillah. It's all, you don't even need the chocolates. Eibishter, make them without chocolates. They'll learn. You go to the Eibishter for everything. Run every inch. Go to the Tatan Shemayim. There's no one like him. There's nothing like the Eibishter. There's nothing underrated. Melech Olav, says the Heilige Talmud Dvaira. He's Olav. He's like, lowly. He's an honor. He's like, he lets people step all over in China. They don't believe in anything. And the Eibishter gives them the chop suey, and he gives them chow mein and all the garbage, and they fresh, and all over the world, the stomachs are all healthy and they're functioning, and they can go in toilet successful. That's a big thing in my books. I don't know about you guys. We're going to the toilet successfully. We make ashiyatzas. No, it's a big Indian to go successful. You want to meet some of my friends in the hospital, the mutzenzach, to make things happen. And that's the big stuff. Anyway, I want to tell you, speaking about buying wives gifts, this younger man, these are all true stories. This younger man, what was I telling you? Yeah. He bought his wife 3 watches in 1 year, 3 gold watches. And she said, no good. She didn't like it. And her father, her wife, her sister's married to a guy. He knows. He buys what she likes. And he knows the ropes. He's a cool guy. This guy's not so cool. He's ultra yeshivish. He doesn't understand, what he's supposed to buy. He's one of those 2 left feet. He doesn't chop. Oh, what are you supposed to buy? And he keeps trying. He comes crying to me. My wife doesn't like anything I buy her. And he said, well, this guy's buying that guy. They love him, and he's the husband of the year award, and I'm the Nebuchadnezzar over here. I don't know if I'm coming or going. You know what I told him? You're 1,000,000 times better than all of them put together. Lachmana libavdov, boy. Don't serve people. Of course, try your best. But in the final analysis, you tried so much harder. You go into a store and you think, well, she like this, that, and you much and you end up with nothing. You're perfect. Mea pomim. Toy pam achas betzarmi mea belitzar. You bought one watch, you bought 100 watches. 3 times a year, 300 watches. And yet a belt, they're going to take yours. You're the husband of the year award. In this world, that guy's the big Shana Yid who knows what to do with his wife. He's cool, he's smooth, it goes good. In the next world, you are the man. Live with the truth. Don't live, some of the Chassidim say, they talk about Pnimius, HaTorah Chitzonius, HaTorah Pnimius, Chitzonius. This Rabbi Shimon Yochai was in Pnimius, they tell you whatever. So I once saw somebody, he wrote Rabbi Shimon Yochai, the Pnimius means like this. Chitzonius means you walk in the base medrash, and this guy's knocking and learning, and he knows more than everyone else, and he knows all the answers, and he knows Pshat and Tosfos, and he's got a whole pupil in the Rambam, and everyone's pointing to him, Kadesh, that's the man who knows the stuff, and you're sitting in the back, and you can't figure out, you can't even, well, you're from those guys, they still didn't give you a stempel yet. Pre-stempel days, that's my days. You spent the whole lifetime not shopping. You happen to have ADHD. What's that? Or you happen to have OCD. You happen to have this, that. Nowadays, you get yourself a stamp of approval. You're officially, whatever it is. Once you get that stempel, you're finished. Because then you have to live up to it. That's me, I am against stempelach. The only stempel I believe in, Kulach Yofar Rayasi Umum Einbach. That's me. I hold I'm perfect. Give yourself a stempel, I'm a Muslim. Don't bother me with this stuff. People kill themselves with their stempel. They carried it from young years. I had a guy who had a stempel of being a Taita Meshugana. But exactly like, I'm not trying to be funny. Their family sent them to me because I once rescued somebody in a physical way. So I became their gadol over there. I'm the Rebbe of the family. I barely know them, but I know the family. I heard of them. I met maybe 1 or 2 of them, but I'm the guy so the figure. He's gonna straighten out Beryl Getz or whatever his name is, and he helped Mendel. If anyone will straighten him out, Mendel will do the job. I promise. It's a true story. The guy, among other things, I don't know how to touch up what he had. There's no suffix about it. That he was definitely a high candidate for being a real Meshugana. He got on the phone and he carried on and acting tight Meshuggah. I says, how long have you been Meshuggah? I guess, how long is this been going on? How long have you been a nutcase? How long is this? He says, ever since I'm born. Oh, that's interesting. The guy, the guy's he's not 30 either. He's beyond. He's already ready to move on in life, and he's still a Meshugana. And the families don't know how to deal with him until Mendel got involved. The man called me. One thing I know for sure: OCD he had. He called me 10 times a day, literally 10 times a day. And my wife says the phone never stops ringing. She doesn't shop. She thinks I'm such a popular guy. It's the same OCD guy. It's ringing. Here we go again. More OCD. Yes. Oh, here he is again. Yeah. And he's persistent. Anyway, I tell him from day one, you do not qualify as being Meshugah. I disagree with you. I told him it was a misdiagnosis. I got you straight. No, you're fooling yourself. And you're trying to act crazy because they told you. The way your voice sounds, I sense you have big bardas in truth. It just never came out because you're so brainwashed that you're a Meshugana that the only thing that comes out is more Meshugasin. Allah's gets betachos. You want to give some out for anybody? Want to give some out or whatever? Okay. By the way, I have B'tachon weeklies. If anybody wants to take, I have a whole box over there. Anyway, you give it out. Whoever gives out, somebody had a major Yeshua, unusual, And I traced, what did you do? Oh, he was giving out Bטחון weeklies. So, you want a big Yeshuas? Give out my stuff. Anyway, where am I holding? Migna. And I told him, and everything he said, I was medayik. That was very smart. He does have a lot of kishin, this fellow, in different ways. And I made a big spiel out of anything positive. I didn't stop raving. And I screamed at him. I don't want to hear him. Because he's already, the more he talks, the more he proves himself how crazy he is. I don't want to hear him. And I keep yelling at him. No, stop that. You're trying to act nuts. Not with me. You're very normal. In fact, I happen to like you. In fact, I could tell, ooh, you must be good in learning. Oh, you must be good in this. You have a lot of good in this. Yes, I see it. And this, people believe me. Sometimes some of my best cases are those a long distance. They never saw me. And the Rebbe zooked. In 1 month, the guy made a special trip. He lives far away from here. To show me. Baron Pesach, pleasure. And he's normal. I'm serious. He's straightened out through brainwashing.
Did you make it up or you really saw those things?
No, what?
On the phone, did you make it up or you really saw those things?
I saw them. What are you talking? I am a sincere person. I'm a shtick emes. They're very often, when I'm not really sure, I scream so loud that I make myself be sure. I do that with Bטחון, seriously. I do a lot of that stuff all the time. I'm always screaming. Rav Hutner once said, when you're wrong, scream loudest. Go the other way. You do that. You'll convince. You talk yourself into it. I do a lot of that stuff. No, I know for sure. First of all, you're mekayim a mitzvah of Bטחון. Just by Hamantik Yadam. But Solomon say, if you, at least in the level of speech, you're about Bטחון. You feel it, yeah. You don't feel it, you do feel it. Anyway. So Rabbi say, what was they up to? The Nisim and the flies, it's Erev, Shavuos, Eis Ratzon, Gilo and Eir, David HaMelech, Shaul HaMelech, Naki Menachet, 40 years old, Ben Yomei was like, he was just born, so pure. Shaul HaMelech, right? And David HaMelech, he's got baggage till Mashiach. Now let's take Yehuda and Yosef. And Yosef is pure. And Yehuda with Tamar. Who's the Melech? Yehuda. Who's the Melech? David. Sheikh ben Yosef is going to be killed. Sheikh ben Yavid is the Ikka. All those people suffering from Averis. Take heart. Don't be nispo from all your Averis. Hashem Yisbarach purposely put you in a situation where you're going to... You know that there's a Malach that pushed Yehuda to do what he did. Maybe a Malach pushed you too. What are you giving his... it doesn't mean from now on you're going to decide, well, it's all a Malach. What do you want from me? Don't do that. Various are not jokes. The smallest one is not a joke. But in retrospect, maybe you're pushed into it. Don't put yourself down. Don't let Averis pull you down. The Stipler speaks about it. The Stipler was a Novandiga. The Stipler still, I have the letter here. Someone gave it to me. A certain Alon put it out. A letter? He says he heard it himself from the Stipler. The Stipler says you could do 100. Speaking about Kedusha Zachem. You're nifshel 100 times. One time you weren't nifshel. Focus all day and all night. One time I wasn't nifshel. That's not budget. Stipler says it. And he says, it's chusim you have from the one time. Stipler's fire. And he says that the Musas farm attack are very negative. You have to be, all right, we're not going to knock the Musas farm. The Stipler said it. Means you got to be careful with Musas farm. Reb Chuna Hertzman's Zatzal. He was a Mira, Alta Mira. He was a Talmud Reb Chatzkel. His later years, he had a stroke then, but he wasn't well. And he was a listigi. He had no kids outside. I want to dedicate this VOD. He was the one that introduced me to Novhardok. Should have a listig Gan Eden with all of everything in the world. He should do shidduchim. They say you go to his grave at Bnei Brak, he's there, Reb Chatzkel, and get shidduchim. He's big in that. Daven, and you'll get, they say people have Yeshuas. So maybe he'll give shidduchim. The most impossible cases. What's impossible? It's kfida. What do you mean possible? What? It's an Eibishter. What? There's no crisis. Dimion. We are now hereby bevatling shidduch crisis. Oy shidduch crisis, shtusim. Look, I'll tell you how to be mevatl. Look how many happy married people there are. And talk all day about that. He's married, he's married, he's married. We hope he's happy. Uh-oh. It looks good. It looks also something, make away with it. He's happy, she's happy. She's married, he's married, married. All day long. I once told this to somebody. She didn't have any, a mother didn't have, she only had 5 kids. She wanted more. She couldn't have, didn't have them. So I says, go thank the Yebish to the 5 that you do have. Rabbi Galumbik. I was involved with something. They were miscarrying. They had 2 normal kids and then 9 miscarriages. Go thank Hashem for the 2 that you do have. As soon as they started doing that, she's pregnant. Normal, healthy boy. Say, thank you what you have. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says about what happened like Boimer. But I am sorry. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm wholly preoccupied with thanking Hashem. You're here. I'm here. And most people, they're okay. You must do that, or else you're not living with the truth. By the way, what happened there was it breaks your heart to 2,000 pieces. And it shows you how great those Jewish people are, how they care for each other. By Arabs, when 100,000 died, they just walk around like, oh, interesting. What else is new? Doesn't mean anything. And by us, when one dies, we go bananas. And here, like the Musa that Klal Yisrael is taking from this, it's such a Kiddush Hashem. All those Heilige Yidden are getting such an Olam Haba without a suffix. They cause such an Achdus in Klal Yisrael. And that was Reb Shimon Yechai's line. Reb Nosson Zatzal used to say that the 24,000 were nifta because they didn't have good coverage. So when Rabbi Kiva had the new 5 Talmidim, the whole thing was loving each other to pieces. They used to wander in the forest, being misbaited with the Yebishter, and as soon as they bumped into each other, they kissed and hugged each other. Achdus. Rav Shimon Yechai, his line was Achdus. Now he brought an Achdus to Klal Yisrael. The day of his Yotzai, he brought such an Achdus. How great these Jews are. It's so beautiful. Every Yid is broken to pieces with his whole heart. And he's not putting on an act. He's not putting on a show. And he's not a depressive person anyway. I don't like that shtickle, although I keep saying it. I'm always afraid. Not everybody. Well, I will say it. I was called up by an Eretz Yisrael Yid who's in charge of whatever. Oh, by the way, thank you, Kol Aloshin. And thank you, Torah Anytime. And thank you, Kavish Kach Proteus. And thank you, Rabbi Yosef Yafi. Achanach L'Chavim. Rabbi Yafi, that standing that was overdue. It's well deserved. Rabbi Yafi, I'm giving you covet. You deserve it. Now, handle with care. I don't have that many. Chap the matzah. So we'll talk about. We'll see what to do with it. Now, so. It's myridic. The guys that are getting depressed and can't daven, can't learn, which I heard in Eretz Yisrael, things like that are happening. To them, I don't let them. That Mendel this is my thing. I deal with them people. I deal with people that are not allowed to cry in Tisha B'Av because they cry all year. What do you want? But the truth is, it's not the end of the world. I was given a psak like this from my Rebbe. It won't kill you, so you cry in Tisha B'Av, even though you're depressed. It won't kill you. But we're talking about people that, not so pashut. Not so posh. They are depressed, and now they're going to go fetching about this. And they know how to deal with it, because it really eats them up. And they're not learning, and they're not davening. Oh, that's what I was told. That's a nusach I was told from a Yid. The Yid that runs this, I think, Rapichas, whoever, they told me that I got speak for them. You know what I said? I say like this: what would Rabbi Shimon want? How should you react? You know what he would do? Moshe Rabbeinu's yard side was a tainus. What's Shimon Bar Yochai was makbid? They should be b'simcha. At his yard side, he was nifta. Tzaddik Hakim was nifta. You're going to be b'simcha, and everyone's dancing l'dayr because he said, "I want simcha." On all those sad times, I want simcha. Now the Vardigas did things like that. I'm not going to talk about it. It's too strange. Way too strange. I know 3 Hasidic movements that I know biyadiyah that do things like this. With certain famous Hasidus, their Tisha B'Av, between Purim and Tisha B'Av, it was Adala Yada Bein Purim le Tisha B'Av. It sounds the same. I'm serious. It's a joke. Tisha B'Av by them. From the Helix to Yidden, on certain Hasidus, I don't want to say it in public. I don't know the Yveltnings, I don't know. The Yidden should hear all these things in public. On private, I'll tell you, boy, what they did on Tisha B'Av. That's not a Tisha B'Av. And then I know about the reactions of 2 major Hasidus, the 2 tragedies. They weren't crying. No way. There is a certain Hasidus that does not believe in crying. Period. A friend of mine got up. He was masbet somebody. He was crying. And there are a bunch of that. They're riesige chashuva people. These are not little kids. They were looking at him. What's that all about? You're crying? Oh, that's interesting. It looked like it wasn't part of their culture. We don't do that stuff. Oh, you cry? That's so interesting. You're actually crying. Now, I'd rather do believe in crying, but handle with care. Watch out! And there may be a kufis in your life. I have told people, in Tisha B'Av, you're going to start fetching around in Tisha B'Av. Now, you may not need to do other things. You may need to write down your milas, which I'm talking about severe people that need to work on atzvus. They get so much of it. Every day by them, and they need to build up. You got to learn Musa all Tisha B'Av, do tshuva, and have more simcha. Because why did Tisha B'Av happen? You don't have enough simcha. That's why we got the Tisha B'Av. So do tshuva. That's your Tisha B'Av. Some people need that. Not everybody. What? Like a b'tachon. There you go. No b'tachon, no simcha. That causes Tisha B'Av. So go to the shirish of the problem. That's your Tisha B'Av. Now that's a megalon. Don't advertise this to the whole world. I personally cry on Tisha B'Av. In fact, I encourage my friends, cry b'kel ram. You'll get a prat for the bargain. What? Well, we're going to see what? Everybody should see I'm crying in Tisha B'Av. It's very appropriate. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Tisha B'Av. What? What? Megillah Shlem is coming. Those holy Jews, they always come out winning. They're going to make out of this great things. There you go. There you go. There you go. All holy Jews. All holy Jews. Now, you want to hear another one? I don't know if you're going to be maskim to me or not. The other one's talking about doing tshuva. So I titled the first tshuva is because we're not enough b'simcha. Because we got to be b'simcha. I got a one-track mind. Simcha, you may have to do that. If you're involved in breaking a midas, you're going to be doing these type of things. No matter what happens. You know, by some chassidim, every Monday and Thursday, they're looking for an excuse to dance. Or now we got to dance again. Why? I forgot why, but let's dance anyway. They're always looking for an excuse. Let's dance again. I know from very, very chashuv chassidim, the sweetest people in the world. I love them to pieces, even though they're chassidim. I love chassidim. One of my big weaknesses in life is I'm nuts over chassidim, especially since I come from them. So, I'm very into Chassidim. You should know. I love Sfardim all day, especially this guy. I want you to know. And these two guys, sugar. I promise you, I would eat you guys up any day. But I want to tell you about the Chassidim. Rav Shach, I saw a letter Rav Shach wrote. What would we do without them? The reason I love Chassidim so much, I picked it up from Rav Baron, because Rav Baron loved the Kapitcha Rebbe. He was crazy. He almost missed a plane. He had to take a plane to Eretz Yisrael. Then I forgot to get a bracha from the Kapitcha Rebbe. Yeah, this. He went all the way back. It was Rosh Chodesh. Kapitcha Rebbe was upstairs with his hallel, with his talis and tefillin, saying hallel was Rosh Chodesh. And the Baron waited outside. And they took pictures of Aaron waiting for you. He needs a bracha. He doesn't want to get on the plane. He was on the way to the airport. He wants a bracha with the pictures of Rebbe. No? Who's a bigger chassid? Rav Baron or me? I think Rav Baron is from the big chassidim to do a thing like that. And he waited till he came down. And then he gave him a bracha. What are you going to do? Rav Baron wants a bracha. Rav Baron left. And then he said, they explained to him that Rav Baron, detoured from his trip to get a bracha. He burst out crying. He says, "Be matriach, Rav Baron." They loved each other. And the Sab, come on. I'll Lakewood, I love Chassidim. That's their shita, so I go along. I go along with the. I have to stick to the shita of that's the Darren. And one of the Rosh Yeshivas he once said about with Chassidim over there. I complimented them later. I like that. Anyway, so let's get back. And one of the big people said, a Groisi Yid, I don't want to say his name, a Taida Heilige Yid, one of the big speakers, said the reason why this happened was Machlekes. And he's a good point. Machlekes. You want to have trouble? You can't. This sheet, that sheet, he's my type, his type, that type, this type. I want to tell you something. It's all the same. People don't chop. In the Vardi, they see the truth. What? They don't see Chassidim, they don't see Litvakas. Kinna, Mr. Kinna, with a Streimer, without a Shem, what's the difference? It's Kinna, it's Taiva, it's covered with this. It's a. That stuff is misleading. It's a dimion. The package that the guy has, that the Eibishter gave him, that type of package. Or Yekis, I like them the best because I'm a heavy Yekka. Yekis, I hope they're all getting Elam Haba. The Yekis, the Amolgi Yekis, when they make Birkas HaTorah, they get no covered. Everybody looks at, what's that all about? You know who made them do that? Rabbeinu Hirsch, Tzaddik Yisrael Deilam. There was no one bigger than him. Rab Sham Shmuel Hirsch. I'm built on him. He's my man. I'm a half. But who cares what the packages? The ones that are getting on the most Vizyonis, by the way, are the top groups. By the way, of all the top groups, I want to tell you, I spoke to Adam Godel on Ma'id when I was first getting into Novandig. Reb Nosson pushed me into Novandig. He held I should stick with it. But someone else, a really good person, about Ruch HaKodesh, everything, he says, Novandig is Gevaldig. I says, what do you see in Novandig? He wasn't Novandig because they have Vizyonis. That's a big thing. That doesn't mean nothing. To me, it means a lot. Okay, anyway. But I won't say it in public. He doesn't want... No, I once asked him if I could quote him, but he doesn't like it. So, he's around on May Vesam. People don't like to be quoted so fast. But the... What's the message that they say? What's the message of Maron? Okay. Every person has to get his own message. First of all, I want to say about the machlekes business. According to Adam Godel, it's machlekes. That's the thing. Others say other things. This person said a very famous. He spoke to Rabin. Yaakov Hillel. He said it. He said it's a very shtak about machlekes. Get rid of machlekes. And he says, Rabbi Shoslan, this famous word, Machlekes l'shem shemayim, soivel eskayim. If you're l'shem shemayim, you're going to stay like that l'netzach. If you're not l'shem shemayim, there's hope. Maybe you'll straighten out. But if you're against the shita, you're staying there forever. People are different than you. What do you want? Leave him alone. So he doesn't daven the way you do. What do you care? So he is a little crazy. So I'm also crazy. Why should he? The whole world's a little bit. You don't chop. You know, it's good when you have chesroinus, Rabbi say, because then you understand others. Oh, he's nutty, just like me. You know, it's good to put yourself down when it helps your ben alachavera. We're all nuts. If you see a chesroinus, you tolerate everybody. Oh, he's a little weird. So am I. You know, there was a woman, a Polish lady, when he came to Shidduchim, she said, Ich bin nicht the best, ich sich nicht the best. I'm not the best type myself, I'm not looking for the best. We're all the same. Like, it's a very healthy mentality. Don't, has to be this, that, what's the difference? I want to tell you half of the gazach. I once said this in public. Commissioner Tzirav Yotzai. I said it Rabim at the Commissioner Shtibel. Had Chashav Rabbanim sitting there. I said my piece. Anyway, it says, Havayoz Kanomer. I wanted to be Mekaimet. Havayoz Kanomer. I'm the official Azaspanim. It's the first thing in Shulchan Aruch is be an Azaspanim. So I'm Mekayim, you know. It says the very first thing, Oz Kanomer. I got up in front of everybody. And there are different types of people sitting there, you know. He's this type, that type. You got that type. The sweetest Jews in God's Lake was sitting there, but it would not stop. But I said my piece. So like this. You see these two guys fighting? He's one shita, another shita. And they're killing each other. They hate each other. They don't chop what's happening. In the last Gilgal, the guy with shita A was shita B. And the guy with shita B was shita A. And they were killing each other then, in the last Gilgal. When they came to the NFL, they said, you guys are big tzaddikim, but the shita business destroyed you. You became balamach, it's no good. So we're giving you a chance to be born again. And we'll see what happens. You're gonna forget what you used to be. And you're gonna be brainwashed from since you were a kid. They kept telling you this is the mahalach. And let's see if you can deal with another person's mahalach, because last time you weren't good at it. So maybe this time you could improve. So the guy is this Gilgal, he's fighting tooth and nail. No, we got the right shita. Those guys are nuts. And last Gilgal, he was those guys. And he was screaming at these guys. He don't chop. It's all midas. This hat, that's drama, that's shtusim. You came here to perfect your midos. So what's the difference? So this time his gaiva is coming out by being that shita brings out his gaiva. Last time the other shita brought out his gaiva. But either way, it's the same problem. It's just with a different package, different hat, different bekish, different, but it's all the same. The internally, that's what's happening. Now the other wants to hear, my aura on this is, I don't believe there's any problems anymore. That's my shita. My shita is, I don't see it. See them call me day and night. I'm a litvak, officially. I don't know if they hold I'm a litvak. I'd have different shitas about my identity crisis. I have a problem with, there is my hat. See, a Rebbe is not supposed to go with this type of stuff. We're trying to Rebbe you. So I'm having problems with that. Every night I spend 2 hours discussing with my wife, who am I exactly? Anyway, but I'm working on that, trying to find myself. I have to find yourself. The Rebbe has to find himself. Might have to give me, I'm Levardik. Anyway, but I hold. Be'ezer Hashem. I'm Baron Dolz's chassid. And together with the Al-Salbatka's chassid. And together with the Chudisha Rim's chassid. And the Vardiks for sure, who put heavy duty kaiches in ayin taiva. I don't see a problem. I only see good. I'm blind to anything negative. I didn't see it. I didn't notice. Do that with kids. Do that with everything. Don't patchki with your wife. Nothing. Everything's fine. I didn't see any problem. Nothing's wrong. They're getting along. There's a big power in deciding and paskening that it's a good situation. It becomes like that. Shalom Shadron told somebody he had trouble with teenagers. By the way, am I overboard? He had trouble with teenagers. I don't have a watch. 9:10? We're ending with this. You guys have a lot of patience. You're steiging. My Hasidim steig ability to hear me out. What? Anyway.
According to there's a machlekes, it's 8:30 still.
We're getting into machlekes again. Anyways, here's the story. So he said like this. Somebody having trouble with a teenager. I miss your son, by the way. He told him, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Who's he, you or his? These kids are dreams. Job is, be well, Rabbi. You'll take a whole stack. Take a whole stack and bring this stuff also, whatever you. Anyway, so. What was I saying? He said like this. I'm a macht for them Godish, vetos Godish. If you have a nasty teenager and you make nothing out of it, it becomes nothing. But if you talk about it all day and you worry about it all day and you think about it all day and you make your head swimming with it, you make it worse. Well, Shalom Shadron told us, I know the younger man, he has trouble with teenager. You don't want to have trouble, don't. Bug off. No, but you have to stop him. It's not good. It's Yiddishkeit. I can't. Look at this. That's dominating. That's not dominating. That's tznius. I'm such a tznuah. And look at my child, how she goes, embarrasses me in public. The body would love that. You lady, you don't know what you're missing. You need Musa. Learn Musa and learn to appreciate Messias a little bit. I know younger man, his family is good, mostly good. One of them is a little bit, So whenever people ask about his family, he takes the one that everybody looks at as see, this is my family. And they see the one that looks the most weird. That's the one that he always points out, that's my family. And he kind of like this. What are kids there for? Covered? Shtussim. You got to get covered? No. I'd rather get some Messias covered. I don't care what these guys think. He has a good family. What do you care what people think? People should think I know how to raise my kids. No, I want you to think I'm pretty bad at it. That's fine with me. There's a certain Adam Gadol, Abal Musa, from the greatest world famous. I just don't want to say his name. But you can ask privately, I'll tell you. Super. Like really, ungenommen everywhere, cultures Israel. From the giants of all the Bali Musa, the last story, he was from the top. And with a shita, with Talmidim, he was a Rees. He had trouble with his kids. Everybody knows about it. He had major trouble with his kids. And they once got together, a whole thing, chinuch, and he started giving eitzes and chinuch. And I was sitting there, I said, oh, that's interesting. And I thought myself, he's just like me. Havi oz kanomer. Who cares? It's his fault. By the way, I know Pshat and his kids. You have a father like that, you got problems. Not his fault. Would you like to have a father that the whole world says, that's your father? Yeah, they killed you right there. It's not your father's fault. Because he's popular and everyone thinks and you're not him, so he's already not a good mechanach? Anyway, I spoke enough. Anyway, how do we take a daven today? Because we do the right thing. What I would really like, my first love is tshuva. Tshuva. We can get a tshuva system going and get a bug off. Whatever you do is good. Whatever you're confused, I have the safety. I'm looking high and low. It's a Chassidish. Confusion is one of the biggest tikkunim in the world. If you're confused, that's the best thing in the world, is to be confused. It's a kapara. It's Yisudim. Be confused. Why did the Eibishter mix us all up? A long time ago, Lita was Lita. Poland was Poland. Galicia was Galicia. You were what you were. Sfardim lived all the way in Yehupitz, in Morocco. That's them. And these guys are here. Today, so you see, interesting. And you're getting mavobal. Your head's flying all over the place. I'm not sure what shita you're supposed to have. It seems those guys are much better in learning than us. Those guys daven better, and those guys this better, that. And you get good and confused. What does the Eibishter want from us? Confusion is a tikkun. Thank Hashem, I'm so happily confused. So, bracha min hashamayim. I have it in a segment. It's brought down Bilbulim, and Avodas Hashem is the biggest form of Yisurim. You ain't a raya pnei Gehenim. You're mavulbal. I'm not sure what to do. What? It's in here. There's a Likud. This is a Likud, and I'm going to look for it. It's a sefer. I don't know who wrote it exactly. The name of the sefer, it's a Likud. I remember seeing it in this sefer. This is one of my old Bטחון. Anybody want to see my sefer? Here it is. I want to get, if I can only get another one, it's Gavaldik. It's called Darkei Amuna Mashkacha. If anybody can get me this copy, I'll thank you a million times. I think I could use a new one. What? Ezakut. Likud, somebody is malakit. I picked it up next to show. It's beautiful. I have here written up. What? When things go bad, don't be in a spo. By the way, I am so thankful for what this gentleman is doing. What's your name again? Oh, he has a free. Look what he did. He made a whole Novhardok community newsletter. Pasha said, look at this. He's Bטחון stories. Meridik. This is unbelievable. Suggested pratim. Maybe I could use some of these. Suggested pratim to overcome fear of people. Davening for the Yamid. If you're not good at it. Say good morning to people you don't necessarily know. It's Gavaldi. I like that. Introducing yourself to people at weddings, especially those who look scary. By me, they're all scary. Sometimes, calling a friend you have not spoken to in a long while, helping someone you don't know that you see needs help. Great stuff. Saying you've done Torah by guest houses, beautiful. You know what I like to do? When somebody gives a shtik Torah, a big Rosh Yeshiva, and he's in front of a whole crowd, a famous person, I go over to him, I tell him it was very nice. Now listen to my butt. I promise you, I do that. And he tells you what he thinks. Then I go around telling everybody, guess who likes my shtickle? How do you like that? That's it. Do it. Don't be afraid of people. You get a mitzvah. Do that as a mitzvah. Don't. But when you do it, have kavanah. Don't worship people. They don't know and you make them feel good. I always compliment when a Rosh Yeshiva speaks. I always go for they're good. I always compliment. They need a boost. They're humans. They need a boost. All right. Rabotai, a pleasure.